lot more of what we're used to in terms of familiar faces. And we're off and running. The second game of this doubleheader and another good crowd on show. And it's Nat Butcher who gets things going. Fabulous 2022 from him as he goes onwards and upwards. And now Corey Allen in Roosters colours. Couple of unhappy years at the Bulldogs. Wasn't helped by a groin injury in 2022. Only the 3 first road games. Matt Lodge, of course, joined the club midway through last year. So the Roosters here as Lodge stays down.
Gee, that was a heavy hit, Pat.
Drew a penalty. Boy, springs up and a high tackle to call here.
It was Jan come Tong underneath, and then it was Paseka over the top. Olakawatu also in there.
You're finding it hard to find the high tackle, aren't you?
Well, someone made contact with his chin.
Yep, he's getting attention now. How good is it to be back, Brandy? Beautiful breeze here on a Friday night.
It's so good, man.
That's it. Is Lindsay Collins up to the 40. So the Roosters get the first chance to attack. Brandon Smith. Drew Hutchison on the Lodge. Now it comes outside here to Hutchison at the line. Sandon Smith. Hard running Nat Butcher. Strong tackle Parker. Tedesco dummy half. Smith, Sandon down the short side. As he shook off Paseka. Almost up to the 10-metre line. Now back to the open. Tedesco first receiver. Bradley gets it on. Lodge, lots of touches in the opening couple of minutes. On the last, it's come here to Egan Butcher. In fact, this is the last now. And it's Hutchison getting it on. Swali'i, and well handled. 4 defenders, in fairness, needed to bring him down, but
well, the man that made the tackle, Tolu Kola, we know how quick he is, and that seems to be the hype around Tolu Kola's game, but he is a very good low defender, as was evident then. That shot on Joseph Suali'i, who is not an easy man to stop, he did the job.
Yeah, it wasn't a happy season in 2022, but he was one of the real shining lights locking in that centre role. Leader's really hard to come by here as we say hello to Lara Pitt.
Yeah, Dan, these two sides certainly got the better deal in terms of the conditions tonight. It was a 35-degree day here on the Central Coast, but the north-easterly breeze has brought the temp down to about 23, so much more comfortable for the players in this one.
Indeed. I'm not sure the players tomorrow will get the same breaks, but if you haven't caught up, they've been pushed back by about 50 minutes, the 3 matches. And it's Penrith and St Helens that's the showcase game for the World Club Challenge, all here on Fox League, of course. Gee, Manly got a get out of jail card with that penalty because they were really struggling to make any sort of yardage. Jake Trebojevic over halfway. Jan Kum Tong back in the number 9 role. He was dynamic there last week. This is Sean Kepi in the 13 tonight. Now it's Tayela Paseka. Limited footy last year. One of a few Manly players to suffer injuries. He had a knee problem. Cooper Johns in the 7 jersey getting it on. Amole, Olakawatu and Kelma Tuolangi, a dynamic second row duo. That was Olakawatu. Here's the kick from Chan Kun Tom. Up they go. Brilliantly tapped back. And it is Kelma Tuolangi who scores. That was fantastic skill. And Manly get on the board nice and early.
Yeah, Jan Kum Tong, the young hooker, put the crossfield kick up. Oh, there was plenty of players underneath the ball. And they were able to just pop it up in the air, and it was Kelma Tuolangi, the new signing. Nice stuff there.
And Brad Parker
doing brilliantly well. The ball going over his head. Had to bend the back and outstretch the hands. Nice tap up in the air, and Tuolangi, formerly the West Tigers back row and now at the Seagulls, which makes them very dangerous on both sides of the field with Olakawatu and Tuolangi, that man now. Just trailing the ball. Got to put yourself in a position to get it, and he did that.
Geez, some big things are expected of him. He's a serious player, isn't he? After a couple of years at the West's Tigers, there's a lot to like about Tuolangi.
Well, just the power running that they have at their disposal on both sides of the ruck, that's, you know, it's great as a half. Schuster and Cherry Evans to be working with players either side of the ruck as those two back rowers certainly makes Manly dangerous on the edge.
Ruben Garrick recommitted to Manly in a big way. He's here for the next 4 seasons. Newcastle were hot on his heels, but staying on the peninsula. And he's better than that. Get it out of the system early. 4 points to 0. Manly. Here's Lara Pitt.
Yeah, Kelmo Tuolangi certainly excited by coming to the Manly Seagulls, and they're happy to have him here. He's come to the club with a lot of confidence off the back of that World Cup campaign. He was given extended leave like all the World Cup players, but chose to come back early to be a part of Anthony Seibold's and Manly's commando camp, such as his motivation to build a strong second-row partnership with Olakau'atu.
It's a fair rap, Randy, when someone comes back early to be part of one of those commando camps.
That's a good sign. That is a really good sign.
Not just pre-season, but the hardest pre-season part of war. So Manly here with the first try of the night. Jake Trbojevic, one of the many coming off a World Cup campaign. He finished as Australia's winning prop. It's fired out. Olakau'atu at the line. Kohler keeps it going. Tuapoloto with space. Radley at pursuit. Johns was onside. It's still alive. Kyo Weeks. Sparkling football. Sandon Smith with a grass cutter. But Manly have got the Roosters backpedaling. Johns, the early kick. Garrick. Yes, it's a great try. It's another wonderful Manly try. They're pulling out all the tricks tonight. And they're going to check, were Garrick's feet in? Did he get it down quickly enough?
No try.
Well, live it looked like his legs took out the corner post, but I thought he got it down live. But we'll have a look on the replay, Dan. The kick from Cooper Johns landed on the spot, quickly summed up the situation, realised that the outside
chase
backs
from Manly is onside.
of the Roosters are jammed in. Corey Allen. Jackson Paulo.
Oh, he's gone.
Just looking to determine
He gets that
ribbon
that left
stays
foot
in the field
touches
of play.
there.
Oh, what a shame for Garrick and Manly.
Great hands down the short side to open the Roosters up. Terrific passing.
His foot is touching goal. We have a decision.
Because you'll think he should have done better there, Garrick, but no try. Great save, Corey Allen.
Could he have got lower quicker? Like just actually threw himself at the corner. Ball outstretched in front of him. Instead of trying to get his whole body into the in-goal area.
You're not kidding, though. This is great footy.
The quick hands down that right side. Tolu Kohler delivering the pass there. Tuapoloto down the sideline.
And now the Roosters, remember, they started a pretty good touch here, but they've hardly seen it. 4-0 down. Tedesco. Roosters Player of the Year, all 5 years he's been at the club. Matt Lodge. Maria Hargreaves, of course, still to come back into the side, so their stocks in the front row pretty good. Radley at the line. On to Hutchison with the dummy. Fell inside the 20. Brandon Smith. Kuntong just does enough with the help of Johns. There's a little grubber. And oh, there should have been the reply, but put down by Jackson Paulo.
Well, the ball set up beautifully for him there. Lovely little kick. The Roosters looked like they were going to die with the ball. Running around in a circle. Sandon Smith gets a great kick in. It's there to be taken. Paulo just can't do it.
Of course, comes from South Sydney. He signed a 2-year deal with the Roosters. But now Manly here. Geez, I tell you what, we've had 8 minutes of this, and we get 80 minutes of this sort of footy. We are in for a hell of a night. The second there Playing it. Oh, there's a storming run. Collins run over by Sean Kepi. Collins there not quite to his feet immediately, but he seems fine. That's an awkward kick, and toe to head by Schuster. Toe to head by Tuolungi. Allen trying to body him out of the way, and they survive again, the Roosters. Jackson Paulo there pinned in the corner, and Allen's got nowhere to go.
Well, the kick went nowhere, and the breeze might have dropped fractionally, but it is favouring the Roosters heavily. It's blowing down in the southwest corner, and you just saw that kick from Schuster go absolutely nowhere, land in no man's land, made it very hard for James Tedesco.
And we saw Manly got a get out of jail penalty very early, and the same can be said here for the Roosters as Manly called inside the 10. Butcher. 11 tries last year. He'd scored 6 in 7 seasons before 2022. He locks down a spot in the starting 13. Collins, second year back from an ACL injury. Still made Australia's World Cup side last year. Lodge, quick to play it. That allows Brandon Smith to gallivant down the middle and make it inside the 20. That's okay. Radley. Now it's on Smith. That's knocked down, and that might have been a try-saving play there. And that is a Rooster scrum first.
Well, if he doesn't make the play, you're right, Dan. The Roosters score down that right edge because Ruben Garrick can come in off his wing to shut it down. A very good set from the Roosters after the penalty. Found touch around halfway, then come down this right side. Tedesco, the catch and pass, which he's so good at. Ruben Garrick comes in a long way to shut it down.
Yeah, that was a 2-on-none if it got past him. Not out of jail yet, though, the Seagulls. 10-metre line just in front of Drew Hutchison. Going to work the left now, Sandon Smith. Oh, lovely hands. Daniel Tupou is over, but he can't get it down. Spectacular Manly scramble. That's on tackle 1, and that's an opportunity gone.
And that was an example of the Tedesco pass, the quick hands out to Daniel Tupou. He's up in the air. And that's a great save, that. Boy, oh boy, K.O. Weeks got underneath as Tupou was falling to ground. The legs tackle from Cooper Johns.
Sandon Smith trying to shake that off.
Bit of blood on Brad Parker.
Blood in.
Oh, boy, it's a bit more than...
He looks like an 80s wrestler that swallowed a blood capsule. That's going to need some serious attention. Hank Scorpio bleeds. Tan Kun Tong. He's the dummy half in number 9. We saw Sean Lane in the early game, a suspected broken jaw, so hopefully that's just a bit of claret for Parker and nothing more. Cooper Johns, he was excellent last week. Ola Kawatu. Oh, he's picked up from where he left off in 2022. He's gone without it here as he goes to ground. He was wrestled in the tackle, and the Roosters will come away with it. Butcher, Matt. So here is the... Well, if it was stripped, they couldn't pull it up because play wasn't called dead, so... Not sure it was anyway, but that's the end of that. Pretty willing in these early minutes, isn't it? And here's a forward pass out of dummy half.
I was just about to say that that's at best flat. When you look at it on replay, it's forward. So pulled up, they had a chance that was offered to them by Manly with a mistake from Olakau'atu. The Roosters turn it over immediately. A couple of plays into their set.
Just 6 games last year as the starting dummy half, Brandon Smith. The reason's obvious. Harry Grant was there. But it might take some adjusting to be the number 9 all the time. And it's a powerful surge from Kohler out of the scrum from Manly as Johns goes into dummy. Great Trebojevic. Feels like he's been around forever. He's still just 28. It's Chan Kum Tong on to Schuster. Happy to distribute away to Taniela Paseka. Manly 1 try and another try disallowed. 6 more tackles here. Schuster on the right. Weeks getting it onto Kohler. That's a violent right foot step. He just swept by Swali'i. And then the next wave of defence concedes a penalty.
Well, from what we've seen of Tolu Kohler so far tonight, their first full season last year, he looks much more confident.
Better say, Olakau'atu and Kohler, could that be some sort of duo on the Manly right edge? Oof. Inside the 10 here, Manly. Tom comes to the open side. Now Schuster on the angle. Tuolangi, their first try scorer. Held down by Paolo. Excellent try saver. Now the little dart. That's only tackle 3 for Manly. Roosters forced to do a lot of defending early. Good contact, Collins on Jake Trbojevic. Short side for Schuster, holds it up. Oh, what about that for a pass? Kelba Tuolangi, no look to Reuben Garrick. They won't take that off the Manly winger.
Well, we're just talking about the combination on the right, Olakau'atu and Tolu Kohler, who looks outstanding so far in the opening 15 minutes of this game. But down the left, just as dangerous, Schuster, Kelma Tuolangi provides a great ball there for Reuben Garrick to score the try he couldn't nail only minutes earlier. No look pass from Tuolangi. So not only is he a powerhouse when he hits the line, Tuolangi, he's got some skills to go with it. Just look at that head on. He knew his winger was there, and it's almost a non-negotiable for back rowers and centres to be able to pass the ball like that, to get it out to the outside men very quickly. Some do it better than others, and Tuolangi certainly nailed that one.
So 2 big contributions. The try, just putting himself in the right place at the right time. And that, you'd have to say, was even better. Laying it on for this man, Reuben Garrick.
There is a fair bit to like about what Manly are offering. And I'll throw Tom Trbojevic at the back there, just swinging around either side, both left and right.
At 8:20:22, I think we're learning this very quickly. That one. Oh, that's better. That's the Reuben Garrick we've come to know. 10 points to 0. Manly. There's Daly Cherry Evans. He's got to come back. As we look at another replay of this silky pass, and Josh Schuster.
Well, he nearly had a look where he was passing it, Josh Schuster.
Just held it up for that split second, didn't he?
Beautiful.
They've got 2 tries here, Manly. 3 more and fill up all the other stats, and pre-season challenges theirs. If they win this game, of course. Oh, powerful. Radley there with Lodge. Kepi again gets past the first attempted tackler. And penalty. More pressure coming, and we've seen the sort of challenges Manly have thrown at the Roosters when on the attack.
You're right about Taniela Paseka. He was a little disappointing last year, and I know injury was a big reason for that, but the year before, he looked like he was just starting to realise how big, strong and fast he was. Hopefully for Manly, he can do that again next year and just continue to develop, because physically he's got everything.
Giving it to Tuapolotu, who was excellent last week in the win over South. Johns feeding it here for Jake Trbojevic. Oh, dropped quickly. 31-32 metres out. Then Kum Tong. Schuster Well, that one gave Kepi no chance, but only tackled 4. Here's a little run with no markers. And they'll be right on the 20 here. In fact, a little closer where John's on the last, gets it here, Olakau'atu. Oh, he runs over that man there.
Is it Suoliki? Hard to see.
It
He's
is
down on his haunches.
It is Joe Swali'i.
I think he's hurt too.
Yeah. Yeah, he caught one there.
Did he just get his head on the wrong side of... He did. He put his head on the wrong side, just right in front of Olakau'atu, who just bent and used those forearms as a bumper.
Moved to the centres here. Funnily enough, it's where he started his NRL career a couple of years ago, but obviously he's been a winger and a very good one. But
I think he'll have to come off.
You would think, wouldn't you? In fact, you saw the trainer there tap his head, so I'm not sure we'll see a lot more of Joe Swali'i if he passes that test. 25 players here for the Roosters. It would have been 26, but Sam Walker out. A late exit there. There's a little dart from Brandon Smith. But Drew Hutchison going into dummy half with Brandon Smith playing it. That's Tedesco on to Lodge. This will count as his 6th run. Collins. And 6 more tackles. Clever run straight into offside defenders. Early ball here for Nat Butcher. And grinds it up to the 30. Tedesco. Room to work with, and he slips past Paseka, but it's Kepi who finishes him off. Little help there from Tuolangi. Radley on to Smith. Now at the Howlaw. In the centres there with Corey Allen waiting out on the wing. 2 tackles remain. Sandon Smith. And this is just the setup. It comes down now to the last. Collins playing it in front. Radley, Hutchison. That was all too quick for Tedesco. He just couldn't tap it on with Tuapoloto and Kohler pouring in. Let's go down to Lara Pitt.
You can see Brad Parker coming back into the fold. He's had his face cleaned up and he gave me the thumbs up saying he's A-OK to get back into this contest.
That's good. Yeah, thank you, Lara. Only 10 games last year, knee injury. It was Tuapoloto. Yeah, all or nothing play and came off.
Yeah, Kohler put pressure on it. Was on Drew Hutchison there, and that rushed his pass. Therefore, Tedesco's, he could only just get a fingertip as he tried to push it out to the wing. And not enough hand on ball to execute that.
Manly with Cooper not looking there. That's okay. Get away with that. Oh.
Well, there was 3 of them there all looking towards the sideline.
Exactly
no one
right.
realised the offload was coming.
Olakau'atu almost made something of it, though, as Kepi was put down eventually. Yeah, Manly played Canterbury first up, then they got a bye, and then they got a home game against Parramatta. But they don't play away until round 4 against South. But it's a start they'll feel like they can do something with them on that bye in round 2. Probably not ideal, but that's where it is. There's Tedesco now. We're enjoying the pre-season challenge here on Fox League. 7 games to come after this over the course of the next couple of days. Starting tomorrow with the Charity Shield. It's in Mudgee. Finishing with Penrith and St Helens. Everyone was, chopping tackle here is Tedesco. Olakau'atu, and that's just stung Tedesco a little.
He got up a bit slow too, Olakau'atu. He's getting back into the defensive line now, but he read the ball from Radley back on the inside.
So fresh set here for the Roosters with that 6 again call. Radley down the middle. Superb for England at the World Cup. Brandon Smith onto Sanders. The saddle pass, it's okay. It could have been a disaster, but Nat Butcher did well to hang on to it. Back to the middle. Bradley, Hutchison, the floater. And now Tuipulotu made contact there with Junior Pauga, and he held him without the ball.
Well, it was touch and go. He came in and realised he had to try and close it down. Just made contact before the ball arrived. Appeals and gets the nod.
Pauga, by the way, from the Wests Tigers. Sprinkling of games for them and 27 years of age. Here's another penalty. So 4 penalties to 3 now to the Roosters. Lodge tapped, but the referee, Chris Butler, said we'll have to do that again. Collins straight into 3 defenders there. Ethan Bullimore in the game. And 6 more tackles. Manly don't seem to be bothered by that. They're happy to just stay down as long as they can. Radley now. Brandon Smith. Hutchison back inside. Butcher looking for a way through. Yeah, Brandon Smith doesn't like what he sees on the right. Back to Hutchison.
Bit disorganised, the Roosters.
Now Radley, the tap on again. Tedesco a little loose, and there's nothing Allen can do to keep that in field. Well, that was eye-opening, that attacking rate from the Roosters.
They are jamming in nicely. The Seagulls just picking their mark. The Roosters are deep. The good passes from Tedesco have come on his catch and pass, not the one-handed tip on. It comes off every now and then. It is a low percentage play, but
And Manly can see much better in the completion department. Oh, like that last week, they and South were way up there. And it's not as if they're tucking it under the army of the Seagulls, that's for sure. The 16, Viliami Fafita. He was great last week. There's a couple of young tyros. Fainu, we'll see him a little later. Boy, he can play as well. Jake Jabojevic. There's Fafita again, little flat-footed this time. So that's the 5th now. It's Collins slow to get up, but he seems okay. Kohler runs on the last, breaks them open. Now to Weeks. Weeks needs support. He finds support. Tolu Kohler scores. Oh, razzle dazzle. Manly Seagulls. They're getting excited on the peninsula. This is great rugby league.
and for every reason. We were just talking about their left. We said Tolu Kohler, what he's shown us tonight, looks like he's in for a big season. The speed of Tolu Kohler just burns through Hutchison, gets on the outside. K.O. Weeks supporting back on the inside. Back to the man that started it all, Tolu Kohler. And don't you just love a player that can run, speed? Last week we saw Reece Walsh from the Broncos, the speed to get outside defenders. And Kohler, as smooth as you like too. What an athlete. Pushes away from Pauga into open space, sums up the support. K.O. Weeks does well, dummies on the outside, then Kohler supporting. That's a great Manly try.
So 3 tries in a blistering first half performance.
And that was the thing, and we've mentioned it already tonight. We've seen an example of it. Kohler's defence, very impressive.
They're smiling in the Manly coach's box. I think they like what they see as Garrick with the goal to make it 16 points to 0. I swear even Shane Flanagan was smiling just for a split second, Brandy. But they should be smiling.
It's worth watching again, isn't it?
This is good footy. A lot of ticks tonight. Tolu Kohler, Amole Olakau'atu. Not that we didn't expect it from him. Kelma Tuolangi. big performances. And we're just 26 minutes into the game. Roosters, by the way, Luke Keary, of course, not here. Gerald Hargreaves. Oh, that's a mistake. That's one for the trials. That's a line dropout.
Well, players, too many players get caught out. Yeah, that's a toughie. Yeah, that's a toughie. You want to start on the dead ball line and come forward. It dropped pretty quick. There was 2 of them back there. Cooper, it wasn't Cooper's ball. He was doing the right thing, staying on the dead ball line.
So Ben Thomas, seen a little bit of first grade. He's in the 23 for the Roosters. With Brandon Smith in the 9 jersey. It's Terrell May. He was impressive for the Roosters last year, back into the season. Bradley, Thomas. Strong defence. That was Viliami Fafita around the waist. Hutchison now deep to Desco and running and all over him. Schuster and Parker. Bradley at the line. Sandon Smith with the grubber and the chase of Hauger, but the kick too heavy. Not quite happening for the Roosters. Here's Lara Pitt.
Yeah, exciting backline play we've seen in this first half from the Manly Seagulls. And that man right there, the Ferrari, Tom Trbojevic, is still in the garage. We heard from Anthony Seibold pre-game. He is on track, Manly fans, for a round 1 play. He's been working very hard on his running game and I guess the mechanics of his running to make sure that those hamstrings stay intact for the season.
Yeah, it's they're going to fill Brookvale against Canterbury. Oh, outside, inside. You can't pause on this team for a second. Now, Schuster with the kick. Parker is not going to outrun Tedesco, but Tedesco, he might have just got a little spook there. Parker virtually pulled out of that, certainly out of the race for the ball, and Tedesco takes it dead.
Yeah,
what
nice
a result.
Play. Yeah, nice play around the ruck from the Seagulls there. Schuster, the no-look pass back to K.O. Weeks. He's starting to make his mark on the game, and then very quickly Schuster, realising Tedesco was up in the front line, just drops it over the defence, puts a bit of pressure on the fullback, Roosters captain. And they'll get it back to Seagulls. It's been a very good opening 30 minutes from them.
So 15, Ethan Bullimore. He was the 13 last week, comes from the Brisbane club. And he played 12 games for Manly last year. They played their season opener in the starting side against Penrith. That's a strong run for Vida. He's left the Rooster down here. He's also put the ball down. Brandon Smith, he was the one on the ground, but he's going to get up now.
He wants a challenge, does he? Viliami? No, he was looking for support.
They all looked away,
they all
didn't
turned their backs as he...
Well, I was talking about the Roosters. I think Manly may have had another attacking rate. Keary, Warringah, Hargreaves and Walker should all be back round 1. So that's obviously a massive boost. Joey Manu, hopefully round 1. If he's not round 1, it won't be far away. Connor Watson, Satili Tupanua and Billy Smith, they're longer-term prospects. So it will be a different-looking side for round 1, but we're seeing a lot of faces today that we're going to be seeing when they take on the Dolphins at Suncorp Stadium Sunday afternoon. There's a run put to an end quickly. Egan Butcher, short side play here. Tedesco. A little more difficult to put away there, but Kohler made first contact, did enough. Last tackle. Hutchison looking for the contest. Here comes Allen. A lot of work to do here. And it's play on. No, now the late call. So a touch judge, or perhaps the bunker, got involved and has told Chris Butler it was indeed a Manly knock on.
Well, the kick from Hutchison did enough. Put enough pressure on Ruben Garrick. He couldn't handle it. Judge to have made the error. I wasn't sure who. Oh, yeah, Ruben Garrick into Brad Parker. I'm going to say that's a tough call.
Let's keep an eye on these stats. So 3 tries for Manly, 3 line breaks, so they're 60% of the way there. Offloads 2. Okay, so a fair bit of work there. They're going to close this competition down tonight. But now they've got some defending to do, the Roosters, with Sandon Smith going for a run. He's put it down in the tackle. Ola Kawatu has another victory. High fives all round. That's a shame. Sandon Smith has shown real confidence tonight.
Now, I thought he played well last week too against the Storm. Big body coming down over the top.
Let's find out what's going on with Joseph Swali'i Larapit.
Yes, well, he won't take any further part in this matchup. He failed his head injury assessment after copping this heavy knock here whilst trying to make a tackle. He obviously has a couple of weeks to pass those protocols for round 1.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Lara. It was a nasty one.
Oh boy, he's copped another one. That was Jackson Paulo that has collected him high.
You think that looks quite vicious on your television screen?
Well,
the crowd just reacted when they saw it on the big screen here in Gosford. It was quite.
Just watching that
visual.
again, I don't know if Paulo actually made contact high. I think the damage was done when he spun around and ran face first into Butcher coming across from the inside. But he's going to have to go and get that fixed up again.
To quote Roadhouse, he's a bleeder. That nose area, that's just a magnet for contact tonight. So the 24 for Manly, Zach Fulton. You know all about him. So he jumps into the dummy half roll. Lachlan Croker, by the way, he'll be back for Manly. Oh, this is as disjointed as they've been all night, and still Kyo Weeks almost breaks them open. Problem is he ran behind one of his own players.
Well, it's the first time they've really looked disjointed, the Sea Eagles, tonight. No one's sure who was going to get the ball. No one really wanted to run it. Schuster just stopped past it, offloaded. Weeks nearly created something, but he ran behind Zach Fulton. Was picked up for that.
So the Roosters have had the best of it for the last few minutes here. They need to cash in, though, as Thomas plays it to Jake Turpin. Jake Turpin in 16. Terrell May getting it on. There's Turpin. Now to Sandon Smith. There is Junior Palgo who gets over, but I don't know. I don't think he gets that down. No, held up. But still plenty of tackles left.
Well, he did get over the top of Tolu Kola there and got himself into the in-goal area, right, Dan? They got there pretty quickly, the Manly cover, and got their hands under the ball, stopping what would have been the first Roosters try.
If you watch the first week of trials, you know these games do swing wildly, particularly when the second wave of players from each team comes into it. So the Roosters aren't done yet. Not by a long shot. Turpin to Hutchison. There's Ben Thomas, flat.
Great tackle.
Tuolangi. 6 more tackles as they go side to side. Hutchison now straightens. Oh, and he got through for Theta. And this is going to get a little look here.
Just want to confirm that one, it's a double movement, and 2 that he hasn't actually.
I think Hutchison's more worried about the double movement than the try. I think he's conceded defeat on the try. But here's a replay.
Well, this is the motion bit. Well, it is.
Drew Hutchinson is initially short of the line. Just need to review whether there's momentum or he gets the ball to the line.
Did he bounce into the in-goal area?
Fulton looks like with his arm under the ball there.
Because I think he gets it down in the end. He's still moving.
Well, he's entitled to do that, isn't he?
I think he is.
That's momentum.
I don't think he
Okay, the ball
stops
gets
short
to
and
the
then
line. We're just going
promotes
to
the ball.
determine if it's momentum.
I think it is momentum.
So they're seeing what we're seeing, and that the ball's down. So now it's just a question of double movement or try. It has to be a try.
I think it does.
The ball is initially short from Drew Hutchison, which is under his chest. He then promotes the ball above his head. We have a decision.
Let's not
Yeah,
get...
but he's still moving there. Let's not argue.
Come on. February.
The ball ends up being over his head.
And letter of the law, it's probably correct, Brady. But I like there was
Well, I'd
a split
argue.
second. I just like there was a split second. They did play it in real time, real speed.
Which they have to. That has to be done for everyone at home to see it in real time, not slow motion.
So penalty to Manly.
Manly coaching box was happy with it.
They're smiling. Don't bother shooting them because as soon as we put the camera on them, they stop smiling. But they're smiling, I promise you. Anthony Seibold, it's like there's a comedy show going on in there. He's that delighted. There's a lot to be encouraged about, isn't there, Manly? A wretched 2022, but it looks like the curtain has certainly been drawn on that period. For Fite. The limited time we've seen him on this stage, he's got an ability to bend the defensive line back. Schuster, Johns, Tuolangi. Ethan Bullimore now. And Schuster there, that's gone up a mile. That seems so effortless. And now Allen and Tedesco. Oh, that could have been a catastrophe. Allen comes away with it.
Well, one of them did well just to hold the ball. Corey Allen beating his captain to it.
Uh-oh,
No
knock
one
on
realised. They've come up with a couple of errors recently, haven't they?
Tupou is the one it looks like who's put that down, and now Manly can really press for a fourth try in this first half.
Yeah, good defence again over the top. Olakau'atu, powerful defensively tonight.
Locking into the scrum, Schuster defeated. Cooper Johns directly behind the scrum. Morgan Harper's in the game on the left. Kyo Weeks goes that way as well. So it comes to Weeks, engages, handled. Olakau'atu's still in the game, by the way, so you imagine he's going to see it at some point on the right side. Now it's Johns. There's Schuster. Tolu Kola. Inside the 10, this time well handled. Oh. Nonchalant from Schuster. There goes away to Johns. Clever. Weeks. Garrick. Tedesco brings him down, but he can't stop Ruben Garrick. And Manly has a fourth. Garrick has a double. Too good. Tonight they are just too good. They are too hot.
They're very sharp down this left side. The passes from Schuster, Johns, clinical stuff there. K.O. Weeks chimes in, the 2-on-1. Tedesco's in front of Ruben Garrick, but just can't stop him getting into the in-goal area. Very nicely worked play there from the Seagulls. The young players looking good. The players we expect to be influential throughout the season look good. It's been a first-class display.
3 tries out of the 4 scored on the left, 2 to Garrick and the one off the kick, which was tapped by Parker to Alangi. They scored on the right as well with Tolu Kola's outstanding effort. So 4 tries and a 4th line break. Still just the 2 offloads. Garrick here, he missed one, the first kick of the game, from a little closer than this. See Vonnie and Gordy on the desk down there having a chat, so we'll hear from them at half time. And that one starts out right, and that's not curling back. 20-0. 2 from 4 for Reuben Garrick. Now, they only named 24 Manly. They could have named 26 for this, so there's going to be a few familiar faces that will remain out there for the rest of the game. Whereas the Roosters, they've got 25 players, so not too dissimilar a story, but I wouldn't think, Brandy, will see too much more of the likes of Brandon Smith, James Tedesco. Maybe we will, but it's not really the Roosters' way, is it?
Yeah, not surprised if some of the big names come off the field, Dan, and it's what you expect. Second week of trials. Normally the sides name most of their stars, but they don't play the 80 minutes.
Oh, it's going to be a penalty, so they're going to have one play here. And the way Manly's gone tonight, they're capable of anything. Oh, look at that. Well, they're also capable of a conservative play, one of the few we've seen in the first half. But that ends an outstanding 40 minutes. And this Manly Sea Eagles, they are making the NRL just take a little bit of notice that they might be something to contend with in 2023. Manly 20, Sydney Roosters 0, plus Melbourne and South. So that's a tough period for the Roosters. They've got 40 minutes to encounter here. And it's Cooper Johns off the kickoff. The Manly Sea Eagles, 1 try away from the bonus point, 1 try away from, or 1 line break away from the bonus point, and 8 offloads away, basically winning the 100 grand. Haven't seen teams though with great intent to offload, Brandy. That's not what these trials have been about.
Well, I don't think it's high on the priority list, but you know, it's a way that we can separate the teams over a 2-week competition.
That's it. That's what separates Manly and the Roosters from the rest. They both ticked that box last week, the only teams to do that. Here's Garrick. Now Johns gets it away. It was a chase from Terrell May. And number 21 for the Sydney Roosters, Ethan King, nephew of Matt. Because Matt here is an assistant coach. He's been at the Roosters for a little while now.
He was another one that had a strong outing for the Roosters last week against the Melbourne Storm down at Geelong.
It was Turpin. Now, over halfway they go here. And a pretty efficient set there. Thomas saw a fair bit of it in the first half. Mafahu White, good young player. Played first grade a couple of years ago, not last year. Sandon Smith with the end-over-end kick, and the chasers coming through. Jackson Powell made it hard work for the Sea Eagles, and out of all that, oh, it's a knockback. It's play on. So Manly come away with it. Lifting tackle there. That was Turpin driving Ray Vega into the ground. And this is Christian Tuapolotu. Let's send it down to Lara Pitt for the halftime report. Lars.
Yeah, wonderful first half there from Manly. We know it is a very new coaching staff here coming into the new season. 2 premiership winners on board. In the sheds at halftime, we could see the team was split into 2. Head coach Anthony Seibold delivering the messages to the forward pack. His assistant Shane Flanagan taking charge of the back line and the attacking team, the attacking players in the team.
Okay. Well, there's a tick for Flano on what we've seen so far. There's Daniel Tupou almost to halfway. Jackson Powell. Oh, if he'd scored that try early too, that just could have changed the tone of this game. That was sloppy, and it's a penalty.
Jake just couldn't get out of the road then. Jackson Paulo up quickly to play it, or tried to get up quickly to play it.
Hutchison. Gee, he's a Mr. Fix-It, isn't he? He started last year as their dummy half. He ended the year in the centres.
He played 25 games last year.
Yes,
Drew Hutchison.
he's become one of their most reliable.
Stand there, Sean.
So Thomas to play it on the 10. Turpin sends it on to Hutchison. Now, Terrell May. Hard to put away. Takes them almost all the way. Chan Kum Tong there. And Paseka needing to give it everything they have. Now that almost Falcons the decoy runner as Hutchison wrapped up by Olakau'atu and puts it down. Just not their night. Just not their night to this point. And I think that's the end of those two. Well, certainly Tedesco, you would think. Probably Hodge as well. He got through a mountain of work early, and John's in the tackle there. Deemed to be a knock-on.
Just can't get into any rhythm, can they? I think they've completed 3 of their last 7 or 8 sets. It's certainly hasn't been a good period for them. The back end of the first half and the start of this one.
Never really been a pre-season powerhouse, the Roosters, but I think they haven't really presented their best players. They'd like to warm into a season. Their losses as we watch Manly work it upfield. Chan Kum Tong getting it on. This is beautiful. Kyo Weeks. Oh, got an ankle tap. Gets up, goes again. Links up with Garrick, who's got a hat-trick. Give him a bonus point. Give him a second bonus point, and you can just about give him the money.
Well, Gordon Chan Kum Tong has made an impact tonight, and he was very good for them last week, Dan. Dynamite out of dummy half. Reasonably quick play, the ball from Morgan Harper, makes the bust, picks up K.O. Weeks, has been outstanding, gets an ankle tap very quickly to his feet, controls the one-handed pass out there to Ruben Garrick. And again, we've said it all night so far about Manly. Impressive. Kum Tong out of dummy half. Great runner of the football. K.O. Weeks, terrific on his feet. Hurdled that Roosters defender, stayed balanced, gets the ankle tap, but again, very good quickly to his feet.
Another long,
and the good form continues.
Another long-range try. Another spectacular try. 5 of them now all up. Chan Kum Tong, he's a really interesting story. He was always seemed to be too light to play against the big boys. He's 81 kilos, but he's always played above his weight. Samoan parents, dad half Chinese, and the family motto is Garrick nails that kick. He's, doubt not and to fear not, and I think we're going to see a fair bit of that young man, Gordon Chan Kum Tong. We watch Ruben Garrick. This is his hat-trick. First one was a sitter. That one, a little bit of work needed, but good backing up here to finish it off. And remember that what would have been the try of the night, and that is saying something, was taken away because his legs were taken into a touch and goal.
Been across the line 4 times.
Plenty of time to add to this score. This is Taniela Paseka. John's getting it on. Toff Sipley, he got a fair bit of work into the legs last week. As it comes to Olakau'atu. Well, what about that for a pass? Kohler down the middle. He gets through. Oh, and then he finds an opponent, Terrell May. Oh, Hamole, Olakau'atu, and Tolu Kohler. That is a duo.
Well, that was a great ball from Olakau'atu, and the line that he ran there, Tolu Kohler, outside in, the speed, the balance, It's beautiful to watch.
Am I wrong? Is it a bit of Michael Jennings about his running style? It is delightful.
Well,
gliding.
Well, what was good about Jennings? Jennings could change directions and not slow down an inch, like not drop a K of speed. Kohler moves exactly like him, very smooth, and so well balanced that even when he was hit by the fullback then, who was Ethan King, he just brushed past it, just walked out of the tackle.
Well, this is Raymond Umalo Vaiga. 2 tries last week on the wing for Manly. So we've picked up really from where we left off. Nothing has changed. Manly. Oh, then you got this man, Ben Travojevic, who has just come into the game. They're hungry. They want to devour these Roosters. There's the steady hand of Cooper Johns. The safe hands of Ethan King. Graduated to New South Wales Cup last year. He's now Tupou. 6 tries behind Anthony Minicello as Roosters' greatest try scorer. Well, that's line ball.
Yeah, probably a little worse than line ball there. Right in front of us.
And Thomas, sharp play the ball. Turpin under May. Sandon Smith. Manly defenders everywhere. Siwa Wong puts it down. This time it's Kelma Tuolangi involved there.
Well, their error rate it's been consistent. Their completion rate just has not improved for most of the game. Giving themselves very little chance to add any points. 26-0, Manly. Half an hour to go.
God, Kaya Weeks was the man who did the bulk of the work there to force that free. With a little bit of a helping hand from Tuolangi, but well done to the...
Well, he's been impressive too, hasn't he? Kaya Weeks has been everywhere. Wherever the ball is, Kaya Weeks has been there, defence and attack.
Ben Trbojevic, does he squeeze into the 17 for round 1? Here's a bustling run from Vega. And now the ball movement, it's just delightful. Even when it's sloppy, it's coming off.
Well, that was Tuolangi back on the inside there. That just completely wrong-footed a Roosters defender. Inside pass from Weeks. Big right foot step. Come Tong getting the ball out there quick, but the Roosters defence was then up around the area, so it's gone to ground.
Molly, lock in. Stay on.
Completion rate for Manly still 76%. Very good. Approach halfway in the Sydney Roosters. Beat Melbourne last week down in the Geelong. And now that's come out 2 in the tackle. Now, Gordon's going to argue here that was loose anyway, but... Oh, well, Gordon there has got a challenge out. Looked like Sean Kepi was the man who hit the go button. Was he trying to pass it? Was it loose? Was it a strip?
Just seeing if the Roosters player actually tries to offload here.
He thought about it. He lifted the hand off the ball. He
strip.
lifted his hand off the ball, so that's that will be a win to Manly.
Is he confident there's enough evidence?
The ball
there?
from the Roosters player comes away from the hand as he looks to offload backwards.
Yep.
The Manly player then receives the ball and the whistle is now blown. We have a mutual infringement. Play the ball by number 9, Gordon.
Okay, Manly ball.
Challenge is
Good
successful.
challenge. Yeah. Good work, Adam G. Running the show down in Everleigh in the bunker.
Lady leaves it. Gordon's got to play it. Gordon's got to play it. Time on. You're on 0 tackle. No, 0.
Manly. The night keeps getting better. Here's Lara Pitt.
Yeah, poor Brad Parker hasn't been able to get that bleeding nose under control. He's been talking to the doctors and is taking no further part in this game, as you can see in there in the dugout. But yeah, still claret flowing from the nose for poor Brad Parker.
Yeah, I don't sense a lot of sympathy around him either. I mean, the poor bugger. Here it comes now, Ben Trbojevic. So Manly now with Warringah up to the 20-metre line with this, the last tackle. Their offloads are up to 5, by the way. Maybe they are aware of the stat they need. Little chip kick from Johns. Easy take for Tupou.
Very hard man to beat in the air, Daniel Tupou, especially when he's coming forward to the ball like that. Put it over his head, make him chase. Make him work for it.
This is Corey Allen. Played Origin, Corey Allen, not all that long ago, a couple of years. That's come out, and it's come out legitimately. White spilling it, Sipley forcing it. Manly scrum. Inside Roosters 40.
Good shot there.
Oh,
Tuilagi. Yeah.
Ooh.
Off Sipley. White from behind, but then Tuilagi hit him front on. Contact on the ball.
You can hear the buttons being pressed and clickbait houses everywhere, Brandy. Another one the Tigers have let go. Look what he's going to do now with Manly. What are they doing, the Tigers? He's been good tonight. And look at that stat, 23 tackles for no result, the Roosters. Manly has come up with some great scramble, but they've only had 9 tackles across that 20-metre line.
The Manly's tries have come from outside the 30.
Now that's a knock-on. That's a shame, but that's a knock-on. Daniela Paseka.
Shot clock's on.
It's still quite steamy here in Gosford. There's a healthy breeze, but we still are in February. And while the breeze is a relief, it's not everything.
Stay on.
Swept past by Terrell May. In fact, no, that was Junior Pauga. Good run from the former Tiger. Hutchison on. There's May. The Champion Thomas put in some real minutes tonight. Brandon Smith doing what he does very well, getting 6 more tackles, knowing exactly where to run. White. Brandon Smith. Drew Hutchison. And it's the pass which hits Egan Butcher as he's being hit by the Manly defence.
A lot of pressure on the ball runner there. Sandon Smith, the young half, just drifting across the field. The outside defence had come up that far that he couldn't throw a long ball, so went with the short runner who was certainly was a marked man. Paseka and Kepi getting a breather.
So Dragons, South Sydney, 4:20 Eastern is now the kickoff time there. We'll be on air a bit early here on Fox League. I said earlier that Penrith St Helens finishes the night. It's the main event, but it doesn't finish the night. That's at 6:50 Eastern now. for the World Club Challenge. I've enjoyed some of those older games they've been replaying on
I watched
Fox.
some today. I watched some of the old World Club Challenges today. Good game. Gordon Tallis in
Great
action
minds.
against St Helens.
I just remember
2001.
Oh, you'd mentioned Gordon Tallison World Club Challenge. You'd just think the old QE2 Stadium and that poor Wigan bloke was it Terry O'Connor. Although he gave a fair bit back, Terry. And Wigan won that night. That was incredible stuff from them. Anyway, Penrith St Helens tomorrow, and then Broncos Cowboys. 8:55 Eastern, but 7:55 more importantly Queensland time from Sunshine Coast Stadium. And then 4 games coming up on Sunday. Egan Butcher. There's Hutchison here. Bit of sting's gone out of this, hasn't it? And Tupou stuck his hand out. That's got to be a knock on and confirmed. Confirmed by Chris Butler.
Manly come into this pre-season challenge off the back of a wretched season, finishing they lost their last 8 games. They got themselves just on the edge of the 8, then fell out of it after losing the last 2 months of the regular season. They signed a new coach. It caused a bit of a stir. Anthony Seibold, departed Brisbane in very unpleasant circumstances. Went to rugby union, coached under Eddie Jones, assistant, and ended up with the Manly job. You can only, and I know you can't get too excited about pre-season form, but Manly, after that, after what had happened, were looking for something to hang their hat on, and they've got it tonight. And they got it last week.
You can tell them not to get excited, Brandy. I can tell you. They're getting excited.
I don't blame them. I would be excited too.
It's been wonderful what they've delivered. Wonderful. The skill, the audacity,
whatever it is, they've bought into it. Whatever Anthony Seibold has offered them and shown them, they've bought into it.
So that's a friendly bounce here for Egan Butcher. Cooper Johns. Very nice fortnight for him. Oh, there's a tackle. Hamole Olakawatu. Oh, for the Roosters' sake, get him off the field, Manly. Take pity on a club, Anthony. There's a great tackle. Lodge. Nice footwork here from King. Out comes across from Sandon Smith. Just the numbers in defence from Manly, that's been very noticeable as well. Hutchison here, again aiming to the left side. And the contest involved there was Morgan Harper and Tui Pelotu-Katoa, the former Bulldog.
I can't remember how many times we've commented about Manly's defence tonight. Now, the Roosters have made a number of errors, but a lot of that has been because of the contact from the Manly defence and the numbers they've been able to get to the ball and to the man carrying the ball. That's a good shot, Matt Lodge. Morgan Harper felt that one.
Well, someone yelled forward. It was Melinda Sharp on the sideline there, so door opens here for the Tricolours. That was Fulton. Yeah, it's probably the correct call there. So 1 try in the second half. We're now into the last 20 minutes. I guess we'll have to ask at some point if we're going to count this as something for Manly in terms of it might be something that portends the future. Do we read into anything for the Roosters here? It is a trial, and we've got so many missing as we watch this attacking raid here. Now it's Rabbit on to Lodge.
No, I don't think so. I
Pretty
don't
easy
think
to
you. I don't
dismiss.
think you read that there's a lot of players missing. out of the
Easy to
lineup.
dismiss.
And, that can be the case for Manly too.
Oh, there's a knock on. So there's stuff we've seen from the Roosters we know we're not going to see much of in the regular season. And I guess the question is, Brandy, a lot of these teams, where are they at in their pre-season training? Roosters are famous for warming in and just sort of slowly building a season.
Yeah, there's no need to panic if you're a Rooster
No,
fan.
I don't think so. That's going to be a penalty. LIA drawing that one. It's actually probably surprising they were in this position to win this pre-season challenge, because they've never really been a side that's put anything into their pre-season footy. So where are they at now? They are Manly at 6 offloads. That's unofficial, by the way. It's the NRL that has to tick those things off. So the Warriors, the Bulldogs, the Sharks and St Helens are all on 14 points. So Manly, unless they are overrun here, which seems unlikely, are at 29 points at the moment. So your poor old Panthers, Brandy, they've been eliminated, it would seem. They're on 13 points, so no pre-season trophy for them. Here it comes now from Johns. Away now with an imposing run with Samuel Fainu, and then knock-ons from everyone.
I think there's 100,000 up for grabs just tomorrow too.
I think if you go Penrith and choice, do we win the World Club Challenge or the pre-season? I don't think there's much debate as to where they put their stock. And that's Nat Butcher there who puts it down, but it'll come back to the original Manly knock-on.
Tighter at the back. Clock in, stay on. Break.
So Tuipolota Katoa, 23 years of age. He sprinkling a first grade at Canterbury. He's the brother of Sione Katoa from Cronulla. There's Radley to Lodge. Sandon Smith. Here's Corey Allen. Rare bit of space for him tonight. Same can be said of Jackson Powell. Keeps it alive. This is as good as they've looked in attack all evening, with Smith wrapped up on the 20. Radley. Collins. 8th run of the night for Lindsay Collins. Left side was stacked very deep, but they come to the right, where Radley to Hutchison, pouring through. The man is a try-scoring machine these days. It's Nat Butcher getting the Roosters first.
Well, the movement down the right side 3 plays earlier was the best that the Roosters have looked for a long time. Line breaks have been hard to come by. Controlling the footy has been hard to come by. They got to the centre field and then went back to the right through Nat Butcher, Drew Hutchison, and K.A. Weeks was there, made a legs tackle, but a bit of ball control certainly helps, doesn't it? You can build some pressure, and that was as good as they've looked all night.
Radley to Hutchison. Butcher. That stat earlier. This one doesn't count, obviously, it's a trial, but 11 tries last year. 6 in 7 years before that. And really bursting onto that one. Still just 25 years of age, Nat Butcher.
Well, they got Tupanua, who will be is he a couple of months into the season before he returns? Angus Crichton, the Butcher brothers.
And no good.
As their back row options, Siwa Wong, young player who a good World Cup. Watch it again, going Manly defence, just backpedaling. But it was because of the set. The set was that good from the Roosters that they had and going backwards for most of it.
So 26-4.
Stay behind.
Roosters, they don't want to start this year the way they started last year. They were 7-9 after 17 rounds. They were 10th. Now that's where they caught fire and won 8 in a row. But they couldn't make the 4, and ultimately it did them in.
Complete contrast to the Seagulls. They lost their last 7 games, the Seagulls. Manly won, the Roosters won their last 8. So they stormed into the finals, but you're right, they could not, they'd missed the chance to get to the top 4.
Ooh, Radley hit hard there. That was Ethan Bullimore with the classic tackle. And the help there of Josh Aloiai, but they just stayed on too long. Aloiai there. The referee say facial. There's a word you don't hear often these days.
Well, he just kept going back with the elbow.
Well, hang on, that's not a facial. That's the reverse of a facial.
Well, any sort of movement on the head brings a penalty.
All right, Lindsay Collins now.
Just let that go through the keeper.
Well, it was a penalty.
Yes.
It was a penalty. Oh, there's a barnstorm run there, but cut down. Oh, Jake Toby in the game. He's a little live wire. He's involved again. He was fabulous last week, the Manly number 14. Bradley under Lodge. Fulton there running interference, but there were 3 defenders to bring Lodge down anyway, and Collins is over. Well, hang on a moment here. That's 2 tries. They've got 3 to get. 12 minutes to go.
Plenty of time left. They hold the ball. They'll run in more tries, the Roosters. They've still got enough class out there to trouble this Eagles defence. Brandon Smith, nice flat ball there to Lindsay Collins. 1-on-1, very hard to stop in that situation. Decoy was run by Radley just to keep those the A defender honest. Couldn't slide out onto Collins, who found himself charging at a single Manly defender there.
Can't question Lindsay Collins 2022. He played 3 tests for Australia. And am I going nuts, or was that really loud, that rooster? It's, I know the rooster hasn't had much to crow about, but boy, oh boy.
Has it crept up the stand?
Oh.
It's just in front of us. Where is it?
That's trial footy, Brandy. Just getting it right for round 1. But Collins is coming off an ACL, so the first year is always the easing back, and he still did all those things. And you would think this year, injury permitting, he should be even better. I'm going to have that noise all the way home in my head and drive home, Brandy. All right, here it comes now with 11 minutes, 20 seconds to go. That's Jackson Powell. Lodge. That is for the Roosters. The meters are coming a little easier than they have been. Brandon Smith keeps the attack going down the left side. Hutchison away. This is a lovely bit of work here by Pauga. Underarms it on. This is a great try. Hold the phone. She ain't over. Tui Polonu Katoa. Oh, who needs Tedesco and the Stars? The kids are pulling him back into the contest.
Couple of great balls down this left-hand side. And some terrific foot movement to beat the Manly defence. Sandon Smith in the end who threw a great pass. Drew Hutchison gets on the outside. The dummy from Pauga. Great footwork to get around Morgan Harper. Smith I thought he was going to die with the footy. And then pushing up on the inside, Katoa. And we've got a game.
Oh,
there's still 10 minutes left on the clock.
And players are noticeably wilting.
Was that Ethan King?
That was Ethan
King.
So tries
Great
in
Roosters try.
the 65th, 68th and 70th minute. So they've overhauled half their task, more than half their task, in 5 minutes, and they've left themselves 10 minutes to, well, they'll win the trophy if they do this. They've got 8 offloads, 3 line breaks, 3 tries. Well, if they score a try, there'll be a line break with it.
Well, they still need 2 more tries.
Oh, I understand, Brandon.
But,
I understand.
2 more tries will get them close to... 2 more tries will get them the bonus point.
Yes.
You'd think it would get them the line breaks.
That's right.
Can the Roosters come from the clouds then? Can they?
We had a very entertaining game this time last week, the Friday 8 p.m. game. That was Manly and South. That went down to the finish, and this might just do the same. It was 26-0 6 minutes ago.
Well,
That
the Roosters'
Butcher.
performance up to the last 5 minutes had been distracted. They couldn't hold the ball. They didn't look like scoring.
Oh, Radley's pass, that's cleared.
Now all of a sudden it's clicked.
They're attacking this left, although Radley does it on his own. Still plenty of metres. That's a 15-metre run. They don't have to panic here, do they? 9 to go, so Hutchison can go a little conservative. Park Manly down this northern end. Jake Toby. He had 19 runs last week. He had a shaky start. Boy, did he recover or what? Speaking of recovery, there you go, the Roosters. 3 and 5. Warringah, the man to play. Ben Trebojevic. That's a good run, that. That's Radley and Nat Butcher who met him, and he drove them back. Collins as well. Sipley now to play it. Oh, again, that's that. Oh, he might have got away with that one, Full.
I think he did. That's a couple they've thrown right around halfway that should have been picked up.
Now, John's having to back. Gets enough distance on this kick, but no problem for Ethan King in the fullback role. A fair chunk of this crowd are stuck around. It's been a very entertaining 4 hours or so. Oh, and there's Radley putting it down. The only saving grace, Bullimore didn't get boot the ball, because that would have been the end of the game if Bullimore towed it through.
Well,
no one was near him.
Yeah, they cut the mistakes out in the 5 minutes that they'd run in 3 tries. Then a poor pass out of dummy half around the shins there of Victor Radley. Not happy with it. They had to be perfect. Down by 10. They needed to hang on to the ball.
So Ben Trebojevic up to the 30 here. Manly had this game in their keeping pretty much from the outset. Now they can really put it away. Aloye, 3rd year at Manly. Bullimore on. Weeks. Oh, bullet. There you go. Oh, there's an offload away to Weeks. Bullimore down the middle. Oh, he got close too. Didn't make it. Last tackle. Johns gets it eventually. Oh, that's a win. That's a win. Not much King could do about that.
Ooh, bounced up really nasty, didn't it? At the end, I thought he thought he'd have it covered. Shepherded, looked like just shepherding across the dead ball line and just sat up to death.
And that's got to make the 10. And if this was regular season, this would be a no-brainer, 2 points in front. But trial footy, Brandon. Oh, no, it looks like they are going to take the 2. They are going going to take the 2 here. So Hutchison, not what he had in mind. So let's keep an eye on Manly. 7 offloads. 7 offloads on our stat sheet here. So they can somehow get 3 in the next 5 minutes and hold on to this lead. They win the challenge. This is the benefit of taking the 2, all that time off the clock. And Garrick finally puts it through. 2 converted, tries the margin. Oh, that's on the street. That's boom, boom, and over the footpath it goes. Thankfully, no cars were coming through at that precise time. Someone's watching this on KO here. There's a free football down near the river. Now, if there's a smart kid here, Brandy, he'll race over and scoop it up. Those things are about $150, aren't they?
Not cheap, proper ball.
So, those have been stony faces all throughout. I don't want to curse anything, Brandy, but I think we've got through this relatively injury-free. Swaliti with a concussion, so that'll have to be monitored. Brad Parker.
Did he hurt himself there, Morgan Harper? Just.
Oh, don't do it, Brandy.
And he dropped to the ground before there was contact made, you know.
Oh, please.
And he's grabbing his left knee.
Oh, jeez.
You watch this. Watch the footwork. Ooh, that's not a good sign.
I was about to say Brad Parker's got that facial injury. I'm not sure how serious that is, but certainly bleeding. But now we have a concern, Morgan Harper. Now, there'd been talk, this is important, a report that they, Manly and Parramatta, have been discussing a potential swap of Nathan Brown for Morgan Harper. Now, the fly in the ointment had been Brown was on a lot more money. So they're trying to work out how they were going to do this. And is Harper walking back to his mark? He sort of shooed the trainer away here. And
he's coming off.
No, he wanted to go back to his spot, but he's coming off. Well, let's hope that's not it. 4 minutes to go in the game. Let's hope it's not serious. Let's hope it's just a little scare and nothing more.
No, he's staying.
Well, he's on the wing. He's staying on. He's limping.
Bad.
A bit of misdirection there, but yeah, he's hobbling off and straight onto the plastic chair on the sideline. 28-16. Katoa. The air has gone out of the balloon a bit here for the Roosters after that incredible 5-minute stretch. Quite punched up now. Siwa Wong. 19 Fijian World Cup representative. Named for the Roosters pathways. Ufahu White. Nice outside inside. Beautiful. Red though. That was Viliami Fafita.
He's another one to mark down for the 2023 season.
Seems that way. Oh, here we go. Now they've had success down this side. It's a tricky kick, but it's courageous stuff from Kohler coming forward, meeting it with oncoming defence or oncoming chasers. And that snuffs that out. Had to be made though, that play from Tolu Kohler. Ben Condon, late entry into the game, the former Cowboy. Samuel Fainu. Anthony Seibold said this young man Has he held on to that? It seems like he has. He might make first grade this year. So he and Fafita, the two to really watch.
Wait.
Going to practice a field goal. Nope, it's Johns looking to pin the Roosters. That's Katoa now, straight into the defence. So it is 15 days for Manly until their first game. That's against Canterbury at Brookvale. That is Super Saturday, the opening game of Super Saturday in a couple of weeks. And Roosters play the Dolphins, so they'll be part of a little bit of rugby league history. The Dolphins' first NRL game. Geez, they were impressive last week. The Dolphins have presented a pretty good side this week as well. They're playing the Titans on Sunday night. Well, if they score here, they get one shot at a miracle, but Carlo
Release last one.
has to take the tackle.
Hold. Wait. Net.
Sherman Smith with the kick. No problem for Garrick. Well, they made it exciting, didn't they, the Roosters at the end? That flourish kept this contest alive. Now, Manly 9 offloads on our stats. 9 offloads. Now, these aren't official, I have to maintain. It's the NRL stats. They usually line up pretty closely. 10 gets them the bonus point, and that's it. They'd win the 100 grand. Oh, Garrick, I don't know if he was trying an offload, but he lost the ball. Well, the NRL statistician has got some decisions to make. If he sticks at 9, that keeps the Warriors, the Bulldogs, the Sharks and St Helens in the contest for the 100 grand.
But
is there a trophy as well?
If they go back and have a look and make it 10, which would happen overnight,
Yes.
it's all over.
Yeah, so, you know, 1 o'clock in the morning tonight, because I know those statisticians, they work through the night. We might have a winner of our inaugural pre-season challenge. The last play of a thoroughly entertaining game. Ethan King has done a lot of nice things, getting on the Parlour, and Cooper Johns is going to run it. And finally, grab his way over the dead ball line. And Manly fans can get a little bit excited, particularly about the performance of Hamole Olakau'atu. Not that his bona fides needed proving.